75 to 90% of every person that walks into a healthcare facility in the Western world walks in because of psychological or emotional stress. That's
really
pretty much 4 out of 5 people. What's really causing their health condition is that they're emotionally stressed and emotionally out of balance. Okay, so what are the emotions that are connected to the stress hormones? It's anger, it's hatred, it's violence, it's frustration, it's competition, it's control, it's judgment, it's envy, it's jealousy, it's insecurity, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's worry, it's angst, it's hopelessness, it's powerlessness, it's guilt, it's shame, it's unworthiness, and psychology calls these normal human states of consciousness. These are altered states of consciousness. So our response to someone or something in our environment, or our response to our own thought, an image of what could happen in the future, a memory of the past, could actually cause chemicals to be secreted from the brain.
It's crazy.
That causes the body to actually believe it's living in that same environment of fear or danger, right? So
what I'm hearing you say there, just so I'm correct, we can think a thought of our past memory, whether it's true or not, what happened. And
exactly.
A memory of something that we think happened. It may have happened. It may have been something that we continue to make up that happened, right? But a memory.
50% of that is a lie. So yeah, more than likely.
50% of our memories are lies.
Yeah, they're
right?
not the truth.
Right, right. Or they're expanded into something else, right?
They're embellished.
They're embellished. So we can think of a memory, a painful memory, and we can hold on to that thought. Or we can think about something we're worried about in the future that hasn't happened, may never happen.
We could pick some worst case scenario and obsess about it.
And we can obsess about it. And just the thought alone could create an emotion that could make us sick. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, because that thought, when you're seeing that thought in your mind or remembering that image, it's the image and the emotion, it's the thought and the feeling, it's the stimulus and response that's immediately conditioning the body into that state of imbalance. So it's a scientific fact that the long-term effects of the hormones of stress push the genetic buttons and create disease. If you can turn on that stress response just by thought alone, your thoughts are literally going to make you sick. Okay,
crazy.
So that's the greatest example of the mind-body connection. So the next fundamental question is, okay, if our thoughts could make us sick, is it possible that my thoughts could make me well? Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to have to manage my attention, and I'm going to have to manage my energy, because where I place my attention is where I place my energy. And I'm going to have to inhibit that thought that has conditioned the body to subconsciously be the mind of that emotion. And the body's so objective that it does not know the difference between the real life experience that's creating that emotion and the emotion that person is fabricating by thought alone. To the body, it's exactly the same. So the body's believing it's being chased by a predator. The body's believing it's in an offensive situation where it has to attack. The body's believing it's constantly needing to be ready, and it's constantly out of homeostasis, it's constantly out of balance. It's in emergency, it's in fight or flight. It's a different system in the autonomic nervous system where you're stepping on the gas, where you're mobilizing enormous amounts of energy for some threat, some danger, real or imagined. But that thought and that feeling, the image, the emotion, the stimulus response is conditioning the body to automatically be the mind of that emotion. So then now the body becomes conditioned and addicted. Now this gets to be a problem because people get addicted to their own thoughts.
It becomes their personality, right?
It is their identity. And they become addicted to the life they don't even like because their response to the coworker, to the boss, to the ex is actually giving them a rush of energy, a rush of adrenaline, and they're associating that rush of energy with some problem or condition in their life. And now come time to change and manage your attention and manage your emotion, it's no different than breaking addiction to anything. There's cravings. The body wants to return back to how it's been conditioned, into the familiar past, into the known.
Even if it's uncomfortable, painful, and a horrific feeling, why do we go back into that feeling?
Because we don't believe there's anything in the future. If we knew that the best way to create a future really is to change your state of being, then you would have to manage your attention on that thought and have to say, is this thought actually the truth? And how long am I going to keep thinking this thought and firing and wiring that circuit in the brain? So there's biology, because now it's an automatic program. It's a belief. Wow. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again until it becomes subconscious or unconscious. So to change then is become so conscious of that unconscious thought, that unconscious belief, that it wouldn't slip by your awareness, unnoticed and checked. And now the body's in rehab because it's overdosed. It's been on a bad trip. And the body, which has been conditioned to be the mind, is 95% of who we are, right, by the time we're in the middle of our life. So there's David and Goliath. And the body's just saying, look, you think you've been making all your decisions your whole life? Actually, you haven't. The body has been making these decisions because it's the mind. So then the body says, okay, Louis, this is really good that you want to be kind and compassionate.
But that's not who you've been for 30, 40 years.
So the body says, let me just send some thoughts or some memories of the past that are going to just cause you to feel that emotion. So the body starts saying to the mind, you can, it's too hard, you'll never change, this is too uncomfortable, I don't like this, go back to make the same choice, do the same thing, create the same experience, feel the same emotion so that you can return back to the known. And that's how people seamlessly return back to that same identity. So back to the concept of health. Physical balance, okay, let's talk about that. What do you want to do? Intermittent interval training, you want to do yoga, you want to do Pilates, you want to do sprinting, you want to do running, you want to do weights, whatever it is. Get your body more physically balanced. And physical balance has to do with strength, flexibility, and endurance. And get those three in balance, right? So you want to do acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, whatever it is that you want to treat your body to honor it in that way. Get it back into physical balance. And there's no doubt in any one of these areas, you're going to have to stretch yourself outside of what you think you can do, because that's the only way you're going to change.
Yes.
So just when you think you've had enough, then go a little bit more. Stretch yourself out that way without hurting yourself, but do it with intention. Do it with assigning meaning to why you're doing that activity. Get the greatest value out of it. It works better when you do.
Yes.
Don't resist it. Get into it. Face off with whatever it is, the pain, the limitation, whatever, and just mark your progress and have it be something that you mindfully want to improve on. Do that, and your body will get stronger, get more flexible, and have more endurance. Okay, so take care of your body chemically. You know, get a blood test.
Yes.
I don't know. Do whatever you need to do to get it chemically back in the balance. If you're having these symptoms, then you're going to have to maybe start eliminating certain things and making different choices. Does that mean that stuff is bad? No. It means you're out of balance and it's bad for you. And don't make it a thing like you have to do it forever. Just understand why you're doing it. So take your nutrients and your vitamins and your minerals and understand why you're taking those things and do that with the intention.
Right.
Put a meaning behind it, you'll get a greater outcome.
But it sounds like if you take care of the physical and you take care of the chemical, you still might feel or be sick if you don't take care of the emotional.
That's exactly where I'm going. So get those two in order.
But you can do all the right things and still feel stressed and still feel sick and still feel like my brain and my body is not working and I feel exhausted and I feel drained, right?
Right, because your response to the environment and response to your own thoughts is weakening the organism. You're squandering energy. Okay, so do all the physical things, do all the chemical things, but be controlling, rigid, judgmental, self-judgmental. You know, get really over-focused on your food and get really over-focused on everything, but you're controlling everything in your life and you're living in fear. None of this is going to make much of a difference until you get your body back into homeostasis and balance emotionally, right? So why? Because the moment you return back to this same emotion, your body's so objective, it's believing it's living in the same past experience. And you will behave as if you're in the past, and you will think as if you're in the past, and you're literally living your life from the past. And that's the way it is. And so it takes crisis, it takes trauma, it takes disease, diagnosis, loss, betrayal. So for people to finally go, I've had enough, right? Why wait, you know? So you do the organic diet, you do the intermittent fasting, you do the vegan, you do the gluten-free, you do the keto, you do your exercise.
Supplements, everything.
But you're just controlling and rigid. You are going to take the signal to your cell, which is fear, and make organic fear proteins. That's what you're going to make. And I have listen, I take care of my body, I exercise, I eat well, I make great choices, but I know that if this component, and we have case histories of people that have healed themselves of ALS, of lupus, of cancer, that complete reverse, Parkinson's, complete reversal of their health condition. One person in 1 hour got bad news. In 1 hour, all of her symptoms came back. She went right back to the same emotion, signaled the same gene. If the environment signals the gene according to epigenetics, and the end product of an experience in the environment is an emotion, then it makes sense then, as long as you feel that emotion, you're signaling the same gene and your body's believing it's living in the same environment. Seamlessly, you'll return back to the same health condition because you'll upregulate the genes and downregulate genes, and you'll move your body back out of balance. And as I said, seamlessly, the condition in 1 hour came back. She couldn't get out of her car. She said, if I did it once, I could do it again. She just reversed the process, and the second time she was able to do it again. And she learned that nobody or nothing is worth it, justified or not. It's the only person we're hurting is ourselves, okay? So self-regulation, getting your autonomic nervous system back into balance and homeostasis, is going to require then breaking the addiction to those emotions, and those emotions that are driving certain behaviors and thoughts that cause a person in an instant to say, I want to be healthy, I want to live for a long period of time, and then they go back to making the same choice because they return to the same emotion, and now they're back in the past. And
it's like you're fighting against what you really want, what you say you want,
right,
by living in this
because
past
you've
emotion.
got 95% programmed working against 5% of your conscious mind that's saying, okay, have the intention, and you could say, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm immortal, whatever.
Abundant,
yeah, and your body's saying, dude, you're miserable.
Right.
Dude, that thought never makes it past the brainstem to the body, because that's not consistent with the emotion of the body, because we only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to our emotional state. We never accept and believe or surrender to any thoughts that are not equal to our emotional state.
Wow. Can you say that one more time so people can fully understand that?
We only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts that are equal to our emotional state. We'll never accept, believe, and surrender any thoughts that are not equal to your emotional state. So you could say, I'm abundant, I'm eternal, I'll live forever, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. And if you're programmed your body into that emotional state, it's going to say, you're not that.
It doesn't believe
miserable.
it. It doesn't believe it.
It only accepts the thoughts of suffering and misery because it's equal to that emotional state.